Day 1. Thank you for taking the time to listen to the story. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Mindset Money on YouTube. We appreciate it and thank you in advance. Please leave the name of the city you're listening from in the comment section below. Now, let's start the story. What if everything you've lived so far was not the main story, but only the introduction? What if turning 40 is not the beginning of the end, but the moment life finally starts to make sense? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, believed exactly that. He famously said that life really begins at 40, and that everything before that is just research. By this, he did not mean your younger years are useless, but that they are preparation, training for the deeper, more meaningful life that comes next. Think about your 20s and 30s. For most people, those years are about building an outer life. You study, chase jobs, try to prove yourself, build relationships, maybe start a family. You focus on survival, success, and fitting into the world around you. Jung called this phase the time of the persona, the mask you wear to function in society. You become the engineer, the teacher, the business owner, the parent. These roles are important and necessary, but they are not the full truth of who you are. They are like a uniform you wear to play the game of life's first half. Then, somewhere around 40, something starts to shift. The goals that once drove you so strongly begin to feel different. The promotion doesn't feel as thrilling, the competition doesn't feel as meaningful, and the praise from others no longer fills the empty spaces inside. This is where most people panic. Society calls it a midlife crisis. You're told you're getting old, your best years are behind you, and from here on, it's all downhill. But Jung saw this stage completely differently. He believed that this restlessness and questioning is not a breakdown, it is a breakthrough. Jung described life as having a morning and an afternoon. The morning of life is about building identity, status, and stability. The afternoon of life, which often begins around 40, is about meaning, truth, and inner wholeness. He warned that we cannot live the afternoon of life by the same rules we used in the morning. In the first half of life, it makes sense to chase achievement, recognition, and outer success. You are learning how the world works and where you fit in. But if you try to live the second half of life only by those same values, something inside you will eventually rebel. Jung noticed that many people in their 40s and 50s came to him not because of a medical illness, but because of a loss of meaning. They would say, "I've done everything I was supposed to do. Why do I still feel empty?" On the outside, they were successful. On the inside, they felt lost. He saw this not as failure, but a call from the deeper self. The outer life had done its job. Now the inner life was knocking on the door. The soul was asking to be included in the story. This is where the idea that life begins at 40 becomes powerful. At 40, you are no longer just trying to become someone. You are finally ready to meet the person you actually are. In Jungian psychology, this journey towards your true self is called individuation, the process of becoming whole. It involves facing the parts of you that you pushed aside to fit in, the feelings you buried, the dreams you postponed, the sides of your personality you were told were too much or not practical. During the first half of life, ignoring these parts can sometimes help you survive and move forward. But in the second half, ignoring them becomes the source of your suffering. Restlessness, boredom, depression, or a sense of inner deadness are often signs that your deeper self is tired of being silenced. Around 40, many people start to feel a subtle shift in direction. Instead of asking, "How do I get ahead?" they begin to ask, "What is this all for?" Instead of, "How do I look to others?" they begin to wonder, "Am I living in a way that feels honest to me?" Jung believed that this turning point is like the sun at midday. In the morning, the sun climbs higher and higher, just like you climb the ladder of success and identity. But at noon, the sun stops rising and begins to move in another direction, not upward, but inward. This inward turn can feel frightening at first. You may feel less driven by the same ambitions. You might lose interest in old goals or friendships that were based only on status or image. You may find yourself drawn to reflection, journaling, spirituality, or deeper conversations. Some people begin to revisit old passions they abandoned years ago. Others start setting boundaries they never dared to set. Some become more curious about questions of purpose, mortality, and what kind of legacy they truly want to leave behind. From the outside, this can look like instability. On the inside, something wiser is awakening. The ego, the part of you that wanted to impress and control everything, is no longer in charge. The deeper self is stepping forward and asking, what does life want from me now? This doesn't mean you have to quit your job, leave your family, or run away from your responsibilities. Jung did not suggest escaping life. He suggested transforming your relationship with it. Instead of living only for outer achievement, you begin living for alignment, a life where your actions, values, and inner truth match. You might stay in the same career, but choose projects that genuinely matter to you. You might keep the same relationships, but start showing up more honestly with real vulnerability. You might earn money not just to spend, but to support what you believe in and who you are becoming. This is why Jung's idea is so empowering. Life beginning at 40 is not about starting over from zero. It's about starting from wisdom. You are no longer the confused 20-year-old trying to figure out the rules of the game. You have experience, perspective, and scars. And now you can build a life that fits your soul, not just your society. The challenges of midlife, the doubts, the questions, the emotional storms, are not proof that you are failing. They are signs that your old way of living has reached its limits. The research phase is complete. Now you are being invited to live your real life, consciously and courageously. So if you are approaching 40, in your 40s, 50s, or beyond, and you sometimes feel lost, remember this. You are not late. You are right on time. The door you are standing in front of is not the exit. It is the true entrance. Life beginning at 40 means giving yourself permission to listen to your inner voice instead of only outer noise. Allow old dreams to return and take new forms. Honor your limits and your longings. Choose depth over distraction, meaning over mere performance. The second half of life is not about having a perfect plan. It is about walking with greater awareness. You may still feel fear, but you don't let fear choose your entire path. You may still make mistakes, but you see them as guidance instead of condemnation. Carl Jung's message is clear. The real tragedy is not getting older. The real tragedy is reaching 40, 50, 60, and refusing to answer the call of your own soul. When you dare to listen, midlife stops being a crisis and becomes a turning point. So ask yourself today, what part of me have I been researching all these years, but never truly living? What truth inside me is ready to finally come alive? Because when you begin to live from that place, from who you really are, not who you were trained to be, that is when life, in the deepest sense, truly begins. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Money for more motivational stories about success, mindset, and life.